Hey, welcome back to a new video. My name is Vivian from ThePaperLetterBlog, and today I'm going to show you a ton of wax sealing ideas. This is one of the most requested videos I do. I haven't done one in a while, so I thought it would be fun, and I'm going to try and keep it kind of relaxing by, I don't know, I guess speaking in a calming way, I hope. But I am going to share with you a dozen ideas for making fun and pretty wax seals. The first one, of course, being mixing different colors of wax. For this particular one, I mixed yellow and mint green. As you can see, I have a tool organizer box filled with different colors of wax, and then I also have those little wax sealing wax sticks that I like to mix in there. And then my second tip for this blue and turquoise seal is to add little stars, I guess sequins or sparkles or anything. That looks really fun, especially if it's a contrasting color such as what I'm doing here, blue with gold. Now that wax seal stamp I just stamped in there is actually not a design, it's just flat. So that would be another tip, to use something flat. I've used nail polish bottles or little glasses to stamp the wax so that whatever you put in there, such as sequins, you will end up seeing a lot better. For this next one, you can barely see it now, but I will show you again in a second. For this next one, I'm adding in again some sort of shimmers. I think these are little teeny tiny little flowers. They're nearly see-through, but you can see them in real life. So this is the first one I showed. And then there's the golden stars. Of course, adding little droplets of melted wax looks really fun as well. And then this is the final one. I have one with my initial, which is a V, and then as you can see, some little flowers. Now, for this next one, I wanted to match the wax seal stamps to the envelopes as well as possible, so I'm working with a lot of blues and greens. And then for this first one, I'm again doing those little flowers, little sequins. There's going to be more ideas in this video, I promise, but that's just something I really like doing because it immediately adds something special to your wax seals. By the way, I got all of those sequins and a lot of my wax seal supplies from AliExpress. I do not have any links because I keep on changing, but if you type in sealing wax or wax seals or sequins or whatever on AliExpress, you will find a dozen options. Something else people ask me a lot when I do these videos is if these wax seals will survive in the mail. Now, I cannot really answer that question because it depends on the wax you use, it depends on your mail system, it depends on maybe how long and how far it travels, but I have to say probably 95% of the wax seals survive. That's not a promise, that's just something I have found. I'm adding in a little clover, by the way, like a little leaves. These are actually fresh leaves, they came from my garden and I'm just experimenting with them. So that is my next tip. Then for this one, I'm going to use a little flower from my garden. I have used, if you've seen my previous wax sealing videos, you've also seen me use dried flowers. That works really well. I'm now using fresh flowers, which is of course a little bit tricky because the wax is kind of hot. But I still really like the way that turned out. So I'm just using white wax with a pink flower. I'm just going to answer some questions I know you guys often have, questions I very often get. The next one is, how do you clean your spoon? Well, I kind of cheat because I have multiple spoons. I like to keep one especially for just white wax, because once you put a different color in there, you're always going to have colored seals. So I have different spoons, but if I really need to clean one, I will simply use a kitchen wipe. I will heat up the wax inside and then use a kitchen wipe to clean it. Of course, being careful for not burning my fingers. But what I also very often do is actually not clean it at all. I will just put a different color wax in there and then kind of stir in the old color until you cannot see it anymore. It also gives kind of a fun effect, especially because I like mixing different colors. This is the wax seal with the flower from my garden. It's a hydrangea. As you can see, it's nice and pink. It did change in color a little bit because it was probably dried really quickly because the wax was still hot, but I still end up liking the result. And these are all PO box replies. I can easily recognize that because they have my PO box address on the back. So yeah, also the green leaves, they brown a little bit, but I don't know, it kind of adds to the look. It would have been fun if they would have stayed completely green, but that's of course not possible unless you use fake leaves. Then I'm doing a next series of envelopes. These are all a little bit earthy toned. I made all of these envelopes myself by either using map paper or vintage book pages or just scrapbooking paper I had. I really love matching my envelopes to each other because I always post pictures on my Instagram, and today I thought I would also match the wax seals. So that little jar you see on the left is actually gilding polish. This color is called Enchanted Gold, and I'm also going to use a blue one I have. I will link them down below if you want to check that out. I thought I would try using this gilding polish to color in my wax seals. It did not work out as well as I wanted it to, but it still looks kind of fun. So for this first one, I'm using my square stamp, and then I am going to carefully paint I would call it paint. I'm going to paint the wax seal with that gilding polish. That did not work out the way I wanted it to, so then the next thing I decided to do is actually put the gilding polish onto my stamp and then onto the actual stamp and then stamp it in there. Also didn't work out the way I wanted, so I'm still trying to figure this out. I mean, it looks fun, but it's not what I wanted it to be. By the way, that weird sticker at the top is just to cover up my home address. My home address is underneath, so I decided to hide that with an ugly sticker for the time being, just for the video. Here I'm doing the same. I'm coloring in the stamp, but this time with that blue color. I forgot the name. I will link them down below. This is the end result. This is the one where I first stamped and then colored. As you can see, it looks fun. It's not what I wanted it to be, but... And then this is the one where I put the gilding polish onto the stamp before putting it on the wax. And then the same for the blue one. So that's another idea, obviously. Coloring in your wax seal stamps. I have heard people use paint. I've heard people use nail polish, which is also very clever. That's Sage stealing my coffee. But what I mainly do is use a shimmer marker. I have those from Stabilo, and I have some cheaper ones that also work really, really well. Now, another day, another envelope. I'm first picking out my colors, picking out my stamps, and today I'm going to try again with the flowers, this time with the dried flowers. Again from our garden. I really love using that. It's kind of a personal touch. Like, hey, here's an envelope sent by me with some flowers from my garden. But this time I'm using dried flowers, which actually works a lot well in them not changing colors. So I mixed a pink and a purple one. And I put something on top of my coffee because Sage kept trying to steal it. This next wax seal I'm going to do is very, very different. It's very dark. I mixed black, purple and silver. And then I'm going to add some gold foil flakes. And this is just a quick shot to show you the pouring rain, which kind of added to that cozy day feeling, you know, me sitting there with my coffee making wax seals while it was pouring rain outside. By the way, this is not envelopes I've sent out in a day or two. This is videos I've made over the past couple of months. You can also see that because I'm still wearing summer clothes in most of these videos. So it has been a while since I made these. Don't worry, I don't actually send out that much mail. So like I said, I'm adding gold foil flakes before stamping, and this time I used a galaxy, kind of a galaxy stamp, and it looks really, really cool. I actually really like how this one turned out. It's kind of like magic-y. You will see in a second. Then for this next one, I am using little flower shapes, little orange flower shapes, and I'm mixing peach and kind of an orangey pink for the wax seal. And I'm multitasking. I'm doing 2 seals at once. One is off camera, but I will show you the end result in a second. And this is probably my favorite color combo ever, that pretty peachy color. It also matches the envelope really well, which I really like. Oh, by the way, the envelope, as well as the stationery inside, which you guys of course cannot see, is from La Papier. Not sponsored, but they have a letter writing paper subscription, and I open the envelope every month. I actually have an envelope, a closed envelope from La Papier, waiting for me to be opened and to be filmed. I'm definitely doing that this weekend. Oh, I think I showed a sneak peek, but the reason why I'm not... Yeah, there we go. I think I ended up coloring that in with a silver marker from Stabilo, or didn't I? It's actually been so long since I did these. But yeah, I want to know from you guys as well. By the way, there's one more idea coming up, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there it is, the silver marker, metallic marker. There's one more idea coming up, or 2 more, I don't actually remember, but I want to know from you guys, what are some ideas or some things you like doing with your wax seals? Is there anything special you like adding, or do you just like to do the simple ones with 1 color or 2 colors or more? I also follow people on Instagram who mix probably 8 or 9 colors in each wax seal, which is also very fun. Maybe a little bit less me, but still very cool. I also do that sometimes when you want to use your last pieces of wax or something, like leftover pieces. That was a simple one with, again, the flower sequins, and I colored in the flowers with a golden metallic pen. Now, this is the next idea I have, which is using a little leftover piece of ribbon, or actually lace in this specific case. I ended up using both the ribbon / lace, whatever you want to call it, and a little piece of, I have no clue how I would call it, like ribbon as well, but with golden leaves. I'm going to show it up close in a second, but I have that pretty ribbon with leaves. There you go. And I put both of them underneath the wax seal, and then I stamped my flower wax seal, my flower stamp on top of it, which I actually think looks really, really cool. So this is the next idea, using some leftover pieces of fabric or a lace or a ribbon or whatever else you can find. I also know a lot of people who use paper scraps. That can also look really, really cool, of course. I'm going a little bit too quickly to keep up with, but the next idea is to use a glue gun. I have no clue if it would work with the regular glue, but a glue gun can also be used for making wax seals. I do have to say it's not nearly the same as actual wax seals because of the way they look and the way they feel, but it still looks really, really cool. Especially because I have some glitter glue sticks, glue gun sticks. I never use my glue gun, I only use it for this video, but I have to say it looks pretty cool. So there's a silver glitter glue stick, and I colored in the stamp with a metallic marker. Then this is combining 2 ideas, which is the silver glue gun glue gun glue, I don't know, with some sequins, and the silver glue gun glue with a piece of lace, and again coloring that in. So here I'm actually combining 3 ideas. This is not my favorite wax seal, which is why I'm also speeding it up a little bit, but it's still cute. That teeny tiny wax seal stamp you saw is actually like a half stamp. It's half the size of a normal one, and I only use 1 bead instead of 2. People ask me all the time, by the way, how many beads you use. Regularly, for the normal sized ones, I will use 2, and then of course for the mini ones I will use 1, but it's all up to you. I don't like using too much because it just looks sloppy. And those little ones, the golden ones, I got them from AliExpress again. This is just a regular one. I think I mixed a dozen different colors of wax to match the front of my envelope. I have done the envelope decorating in a video, which I will link down below if you want to check that out. I did some vintage decoupage look, which I quite liked. So that's actually it for today's video. I really hope you liked it. Like I said, it was highly requested, but that doesn't necessarily mean everyone will like it, so I hope you did. Let me know some of your favorite ideas, tips and tricks down below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! Thank you for watching!